are Locked On Rays, your daily Tampa Bay Rays podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hello, my name is Kevin Weiss.
I'm Ulises Sambrano,
host of Locked On Rays, part of the Locked On Podcast Network. You can subscribe to Locked On Rays on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, Odyssey, and online at fanstreamsports.com. And we're on YouTube as well. Also, be sure to follow us on Twitter and Instagram at Locked On Rays. And you can email us, lockedonrays@gmail.com. This episode is brought to you by Spotify Green Room. Download the app and join Ulises and I this week to get in on the Tampa Bay Rays action and conversation. That's Spotify Green Room. Well, Ulises, I think we can, at least for a day, hold the panic. Stop the panic as the Rays won 2-0, shut out the red-hot Toronto Blue Jays last night to improve and get back that AL East divisional lead to 9 games and get their 90th win of the year with, 17 games to play? Not too shabby.
17 games to play, 90 wins. To get a playoff berth, I believe the magic number is 8. So it's coming, folks, and get happy. But that game was such a fun game. It was exciting. It had, great pitching, great defense, timely hitting, the Rays way, right? You get your hits when you need them, and you flash the leather. How many great plays did we see yesterday? I mean, you got Joey Wendell diving out for the first out of the game.
Yes,
a great double play turn with him and Bilal. You've got Margot diving out. You've got Randy Rosarena diving out. You've got people getting Vladdy pop-ups in foul territory to get Fairbanks out of the inning. It was just all over the place. You saw great defense, and of course the 2 bombs by Choi and Lau. Great game.
Yes. The pitching staff too came through. Drew Rasmussen with 5 solid innings, 52 pitches. Would have been nice to see him rolled out for the 6th, but I get it if you're trying to conserve him for the playoffs and see what he can do. Okay. It was also an opportunity for the bullpen to get back on the right track. And with Pete Fairbanks, David Robertson, JT Chagua, and Andrew Kittredge. And I will say this, besides the win, that of course makes every Rays fan happy.
Of course.
You got to love the 2-hour and 20-minute game, baby.
That was
love
very
it.
nice. That was very nice indeed. I would really like that to be the norm. Then you can actually do some other stuff.
You know how we can do that? I have a suggestion.
Shut up.
7-inning games. Implemented already. 7-inning games, and every game for the most part would be 2 hours, 2 hours 10, 2 hours 15, 2 hours 20 minutes.
Not at all. I'll say this though. You mentioned Raz, which he has been just the best surprise of 2021, considering what happened with Glass now. And what will happen with Glass now in the future, we don't know. But him just coming out and taking that role for himself for 5 innings, 1 earned run, 0. Just every time out there, the constant production is just so impressive. And from such a young guy who has never really been in this role in the major leagues, it's really, really impressive. So got to give kudos to him. 52 pitches, 5 innings. Carving up what is the hottest lineup in baseball. They take him out. I'm not going to be upset about them taking him out because, of course, October is coming.
Yes.
You want to, the less times they see him, the more effective he could be in the playoffs if he were to meet them again. And the Blue Jays could be the Rays' rival in the ALDS. I understand all of that. But are you ever going to stretch him out more than 52 pitches and 5 innings? Because if you are, shouldn't you ask him to do that before the lights are brightest?
I would think so. Because there may not always be an opportunity where you have Kittredge and Robertson and Fairbanks and Chagall available or at the top of their game. Yes, Nick Anderson just came back, but he is not the same Nick Anderson that we saw in 2019 and for the most of 2020.
He looks like a mortal. And
Yes.
and he didn't used to look like that, Nick Anderson. So again, great work by the bullpen. But all I'm asking is, how is this sustainable for Drew and for the bullpen if you're just going to take him out of 52 pitches? I'm not talking 75. I'm not talking 80. No, I'm talking 52 pitches. That's like a bullpen for some guys. My God. So that was the one thing. And of course, it makes you nervous that 4 guys are coming out of the bullpen and they all have to be perfect. Because I understand that too. And we talked about it while watching the game. It was 1-0 at the time.
Right.
Well, they probably want to go to the bullpen because the lead is so little. But if the lead were 3-0, could you not see the excuse being, well, they have a lead, we can turn it over to the bullpen? So, like, what is the actual range of runs scored between the two teams that you can be like, yeah, we can leave them a little bit more?
Right. Yeah, it's very difficult to tell with the Rays and what they're doing. I think we know what their modus operandi is. I mean, if they're going to take Blake Snell out, I don't think they're going to hesitate about taking Drew Rasmussen out. And I will acknowledge and throw this out there that Rasmussen, for most of his career, has been a reliever, and that's what he's known as. And he is coming off 2 Tommy John surgeries, and you're going from the crazy year of 2020 to 2021. I get all that. But what is the max number of pitches he's thrown in a game this year? It's had to be more than 52.
It has to be.
Right?
It had to be. I don't have it with me, so I'll probably look it in.
But what I'll say, too, is, I mean, Ulises, we were watching the game last night, and it almost seemed like, on the flip side, the Blue Jays probably took Jose Barrios out a little bit early, and he threw 87 pitches.
And he wanted to stay there. And what happened in the 8th? Bomb. Again, I'm not, hindsight 2020, was that the right move? And then it just imploded.
Right.
Maybe, of course. But it just seems like, of course, Charlie Montoya is from the Kevin Cash school of thought. So it's better to take them out earlier than take them out later. But I will say this, even though it's always scary to see Pete Fairbanks on the mound, I've never not been scared any time that he has been on the mound. I'm always, hesitant that something is the other shoe's going to drop. I will say he's looked better the last 3 outings, so that's nice. He was the only pitcher to let in a runner, though. But I like the usage of Pete Fairbanks in the beginning of the bullpen rotation.
Right.
And what I mean by that is not as an 8th, 9th inning guy. No, give him the 6th. Love it. Because if he is the most volatile reliever that you have, you've got to give the offense some time to rebound and to see more pitches and to get you a lead again. And so I love the fact that if you have to use Fairbanks, sure, but use him earlier in the game rather than later. Is that Stu on the phone?
Stu? No, it's actually stupid fantasy football updates. People
God.
making transactions at 7:30 in the morning. But I think we're on the same page with Rasmussen. Say it gets to the playoffs in game 1, and say something happens to Shane McClanahan, where he can only go 4 or 5, and then you empty out the bullpen for that game, and then it's Drew's call. And he's only used to working 4 to 5 innings, and then you got to go back to the bullpen. You have to use your B bullpen or C bullpen, or are you going to overwork guys? We saw, not to go back to Nick Anderson, but we saw what happened when the Rays went to the well one too many times and kept calling on the same guy or same guys over and over and over again, and it imploded.
So hopefully that is a lesson that was learned. You can't just use these guys like as if they were, video game pieces. They're human. They get tired. They get stressed. They get anxious. They get nervous. They get excited. Yeah. And so they say, "No, I'm fine." Come on. Do you actually think anybody in Rays Nation that Nick Anderson ever said, "Look, man, I'm tired. I'm gassed"? No, it was at ALCS. It was the World Series. He was like, "I'm fine. Give me the ball. I want to pitch. I'm the guy." Everybody in baseball knows I'm the guy. I want the ball. Of course. That's more than normal. So, hopefully, again, lesson learned, but going back to the game, a fantastic showing after the butt whipping that they got on Monday to come back and just shut them out. Just such a beautiful response. Great pitching, great defense, and timely hitting.
And that's why we have to realize this is not football, and it's not overreact for a week after one game. In baseball, the complexion of a game can be completely different from one day to the next. One day, the opposition can rattle off 17 hits and 8 runs, and probably could have had a 9th run if not for Kevin Kiermaier's heroics.
Yeah.
And then the next night, they get just a couple hits and get shut out.
Yeah.
The best lineup in baseball right now.
Yes.
Playing like the best lineup in baseball. So we just have to go with the flow a little bit with that. Ulises, one thing that is, besides the Rays winning, another thing that's pretty awesome as well is Spotify Green Room. And I think we can attest to that. And I think some of our listeners can attest to that as well. A great opportunity for them to join in on conversations with us.
Of course it is. And this episode is actually brought to you by Spotify Green Room. Green Room is the first social audio platform made for sports fans. The app is free to download, and once you're in, you can talk with us, Kevin and I, and other fans, athletes, and insiders in real time about your favorite team, the Rays, or the sport. Go download the free Green Room app right now. Currently available on all iOS devices. Be sure to create a profile, link your Twitter, and join the MLB group and the Rays group for the latest league updates. Green Room, changing the way we talk sports.
BetOnline is your number one spot for all the pro and college football action this season. With a new updated site and interface, even more odds, props, and contests, betonline.ag continues to be the number one source for everything football. So head over to the website or use your mobile device to sign up today to receive that 100% welcome bonus. That's double your initial deposit just for signing up. And don't forget to use the promo code NFL100, NFL, the numerals 100. From football, basketball, boxing, right to your favorite Vegas casino games. Don't wait to take advantage of all the amazing offers available for the 2021 season. BetOnline, it is the fastest and easiest way to bet on all of your favorite sports. Ulises, I just want to get this out of the way. It was awesome that Brandon Lau hit his 34th home run of the year against a lefty yesterday.
Yeah.
It was also awesome that G-Man Choi added a solo shot, his 10th home run of the year, and a standing double. Enjoy the Choi show while it lasts, because I am 99.99999% sure that he will not be on the Rays roster in 2022. Enjoy the Choi moments while you can, folks. Putting that out there.
It seems like that's what we've been saying since like 2019.
I know.
He's not coming back. Dude, yeah, I think I have to be on the same boat. Like, it's going to be very difficult. The price is going to go up on him. I think he's getting paid $2 million this season, right? So that's going to go up.
2.45 mil, and he's only played 70 games. Not to mention he's got bad knees. We know about the bad knees.
And again, you need roster spots for the guys in AAA. So yeah, that's probably true. So enjoy it, and I hope G-Man enjoys every at-bat that he's got left with the Rays, because he really does look like the body language. He just enjoys it in Tampa Bay. Hopefully he gets hot. I mean, when G-Man Choi, G-Man is such an interesting
spark plug
character. Yeah, because when he gets a hold, I mean, first of all, you with his size, you think, oh, bombs galore. And it's really not bombs galore. But when he does get a hold of one, they're never any cheapies. No. They go far and they look good. And he sent that ball to, I don't know, Winnipeg, maybe.
I'm not good on my Canadian geography.
I have another one.
That's
Quebec,
your expertise.
Quebec.
Montreal.
Nova Scotia. There you go.
You just overlooked my Montreal joke / comment.
I don't want to talk about it.
I see what you're saying there. Yeah, so great for G-Man Choi, and he's been really good in pinch hit in clutch situations as well. But I bring that up. I bring the 2 homers up that were hit by the Rays yesterday to bring up this. Ulises, the Rays currently have, as a team, 201 home runs. Do you know what the club record is for home runs in a single season?
Isn't it like 233?
You are very close. 228. Do you want to take a guess at what year that was hit?
Yeah, that was the worst year in recent memory. 2016.
2017, actually.
Oh, okay. Damn.
That was basically the 500 year. The team went 80 and 82.
Yeah.
So the Rays, by I haven't taken a math class in a while.
Okay.
But by my count, they need 28 homers in the next 17 games to break the club record.
Okay.
Prop bet, do they do that? Do they break the club record for most homers in a single season?
So they would have to hit 1.5 home runs the rest of the way.
Essentially.
1.5.
Actually, you know what? Let me see if I can do that math just to be very accurate.
Okay.
1.65, give or take.
Thank you very much.
Home runs per game.
Thank you very much. Okay. Dude, that is
Ooh,
tough.
Yeah.
The good thing, okay, let's look at it this way. Where are they going to be playing? They're going to be playing in Houston and New York for 6 games. So those 2 parks are conducive to home runs. So I like that. The issue is Houston and New York have good pitching. So then there's that. You do get to face the Marlins at home. Okay. But again, Sandy Alcantara, I don't think you're going to take him deep so many times. And I don't know if Pablo Lopez has returned from the IL. I don't think he has. But they got Trevor Rogers. Again, that's a good pitching staff. Maybe against Detroit, that 4-game series this weekend. I don't know.
I mean, Detroit is being very cautious with their young starters. I mean, they take Casey Mize and Tarek Skubal and all those guys out.
Feed off the bullpen?
Like 2 innings? Yeah.
Could you feed off the bullpen? Oh, man, I that's tough. I don't think so.
Okay.
I don't think so. I'm going to have to be erring on the side of caution here, and I'm going to say no.
I'm going to say yes, just for poops and giggles. But I think it's going to be really close.
If it is, yeah. If it is, they're going to be like 229, 230. Like, they're not going to, like, go crazy with the home runs. I don't think so, because that's the special thing about how this offense operates, Kevin. It's not one-sided. Yeah, one game they'll win it with 2 solo home runs, but today they could win it with a hit and run action and some and timely hitting. That's a double by Nelson Cruz or an opposite side field by Kevin Kiermaier. Right. Who knows? Who, by the way, Kevin Kiermaier has got good numbers against in small sample size against Robbie Ray. So maybe
that's pre-Blue Jays Robbie Ray though. I think a lot of guys were having success against Robbie Ray.
Why are you taking?
Blue Jays.
Come on, Kevin, Indiana. Come on, you guys have that in common. Don't give him so much crap. But no, yeah, I'm going to have to say no. They're not going to pass that.
Follow up. And I know this isn't a Friday trivia, but I think it is just a pretty cool footnote with the home runs. Ulises is a Rays historian of sorts. That year, 2017, when the club record for homers was broke, how many Rays players on that team hit 10 or more home runs, at least 10 home runs?
Oh, that was a lot. I would say 10 guys.
It is, let me just do a quick count here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It was 8 guys, but a little bit of an asterisk here because there were like 3 or 4 other guys who hit 9.
Okay.
So it was definitely a team-wide approach of, you had a couple guys at the top and then a lot of guys pitching in a dozen, 8, 9, 10. They used a lot of different players. But my next question is, I just want you to try to rattle off as quickly as possible.
Cool. I will.
How many of the 10-plus homer guys that the Rays had that year?
Logan Morrison, Brad Miller.
Brad Miller had 9.
Oh, damn. Longoria.
Yeah.
Tim Beckham.
Tim Beckham had 12. Yeah.
Kiermaier?
Kiermaier had 15
There you go.
in 98 games.
Look at that. That was a nice year.
Where'd that power go?
I don't know. How many is that? 5?
Give or take. Yeah,
Okay,
I'll give you
quit
another
there.
guess. Okay,
I'll quit there.
Okay, cool. So yeah, Morrison, Souza Jr., Corey
Souza.
Dickerson, Longo, Kiermaier, Lucas Duda. Remember him?
Wow.
Beckham, your boy, Wilson Ramos.
Of course, Buffalo, baby.
Yeah, and then some of the guys with 9, Brad Miller, Derek Norris, Colby Rasmus. I mean, talk about how much the team has changed.
God, that's a gross
since
lineup.
2017.
Not good.
Yeah.
Not good. Again, that 2014 to like 2017, it was kind of an existential crisis for a Rays fan. You're like, oh my God, are we reverting to the Devil Rays? Like, why is this happening?
Kind of, yeah.
I was reading Albert Camus on the Daily. You know, it was not a good time, but thankfully things were happening on the back end with the draft and with player development, and here we are.
Yes, here we are indeed. It's like Johnny Field's getting too much playing time here. Why are we using Rob Ref Snyder? What's going on?
Why is Jeff Dacker a starter?
Yes.
Yeah.
The crazy questions we ask. Ulises, maybe something that could help the Rays break that club record for homers. Built Bar, perhaps.
Oh, you know what? I think that's a great option because they are healthy and delicious. Let's look at the macros. Why don't we? 17 to 18 grams protein. Calories are ranging from 130 to 180. Only 4 to 5 grams sugar. Only 4 to 5 grams net carbs. Amazing flavors. They're all tasty. They're all healthy. You've got to get some. And if you don't know which flavor to choose from because you've got so many, you can always get a mixed box where you'll get 2 of each of the 9 flavors. So that's a great get. Is that Stu again?
Stu, quit texting me.
Man.
And whoever's also giving fantasy football updates, please stop that too.
Okay. So Built Bar, let's remember, is the official protein bar of the U.S. track and field team, which is pretty cool. So go today to built.com, and before you hit purchase, get on that 15% off. That promo code LOCKED15, LOCKED15, and you will get 15% off on your order. So remember that, built.com, promo code LOCKED15.
We also want to tell you about a simple way to get all the entertainment you love without all the hassle. It's DirecTV Stream. DirecTV Stream brings your live TV and on-demand favorites together like never before, which means you can get sports and shows all. And the best part of it all is there is no annual contract. So stop waiting and get your TV together with DirecTV Stream. You can learn more at directtv.com. That's directtv.com. Okay, Ulises, it is a day game today, 3 p.m. matchup, and it'll be Cutterless Michael Wacha on the mound going up against legitimate, I say, Cy Young candidate Robbie Ray.
How could you have said that a year ago?
No,
No,
absolutely not. Not the guy that couldn't throw a strike to save his life.
And this is the guy the Rays saw in part of the bullpen day, I believe, in the second game against the Rays in the wild card series. Yeah, you could not have said that and not think it was just somebody being, tongue in cheek, because he has really, really changed so many things about him, his mound presence and what he's throwing and the pitch mix. But yeah, he's been tough, and he's going to be tough tonight. I feel like I'm calling out a good Yandy Diaz night. Why is that? Of course, he's going to be on the lineup unless there's an injury or something that's too sore, like Bilau's feet or legs were sore. Maybe Yandy is doing the same thing. But if he is in the lineup, I predict a really good game by Yandy. He has kind of been on this stalemate of not really blowing out.
Right.
And I feel like that has to come, because if you look at Yandy's numbers, they're all kind of lower than usual. The on base, the average on what we've expected. And so I'm calling out a good Yandy Diaz day for against Robbie Ray.
Yeah, maybe Yandy Diaz and some other guys will have to pitch in as well. Here's kind of to underscore how Robbie Ray has transformed. And it's kind of crazy that a guy on a 1-year, $8 million contract might outpitch a guy on a $324 million contract that likes to use spider tack and also plays in New York and whose agent is Scott Boras. So
I like that.
But Robbie Ray last year finished with a 6.62 ERA and 1.90 WHIP, due in part to an MLB worst 45 walks in 51 2/3 innings mostly with the D-backs, and then he got sent to the Blue Jays, and then the Blue Jays re-signed the 29-year-old, and now this week he is leading the American League in ERA 2.69, strikeouts 220, and innings pitched at 170 1/3. His WHIP is down to 1.03, and his walks per 9 are at 2.3. And here's some. If you have a chance, there's a really good MLB.com article that kind of translates the changes that he's made. Essentially, he's throwing more strikes. He's not walking guys.
Right.
The first pitch strikes are out of this world. He's relying much more on the four-seamer. It's like, hey, I'm going to throw the four-seamer. See if you can hit it, guys. And then if you watch some of the highlights and video, what he really does, he attacks inside. To the righties, and he'll keep working it off the plate, and he'll use his catcher for a little pitch framing, and sometimes the umpire calls that ball a strike, but you better be ready to pull the hands in and shoot one out the other way if you can, because that's what he's going to do to the Rays, I would think, this afternoon.
That's such a recipe for just good results. When you're able to command that fastball across the plane, like glove side. If you're a lefty and you're hitting that inside corner to righties, good night.
Yes.
You've got the whole plate now to start painting, and that's what he has been able to do in 2021. So it's going to be a tough one. It actually reminds me of what David Price was able to do in his heydays with the Rays, just kind of pinpoint that fastball wherever he had. But when he had that glove side fastball, just inside to the righties, woof, that gets to be really tough because now you're jamming guys. Now you're jamming them. So again, because of that fact, I feel like Yandy Diaz would be the prototypical guy to be able to just go the other way, to kind of jam one out.
I got another guy for you too.
Turn one away. Which one is your guy? Who is your guy?
In addition to Yandy, Manny Margot. I could see Manny Margot doing that.
I like that.
He's in the lineup.
You know, he had a great play last night, which I thought was going to be reviewable. I was like, they're gonna pull the trigger. But I feel like Charlie Montoyo, again, conspiracy theory. I know it's stupid, but I feel like of all the managers that we play against, that the Rays play against, rather. I'm just watching him on my couch. That the Rays play against, Charlie Montoyo, sometimes I feel like he's still like a Ray. Like he doesn't just pull the trigger on the close video replays. I don't know.
He's trying to get a job with the Rays if and when he gets fired with the Blue Jays. Maybe it's also the inexperience, perhaps, of
conspiracy theory. I'm just throwing it out there for people to just kind of, see every time there's a reviewable play and Charlie doesn't pull the trigger, just put it on your tally. Yeah. I've started to do that. So you guys can join in on the fun. So Yandy Diaz, Manny Margot, they're going to go off tonight. I like that.
And this, I don't want to make this a whole thing, but I'll just put it out there. Yes, Chris Archer has been a disappointment. He's seeking multiple opinions on the hip issue that he's going through. But Robbie Ray is kind of a case study in one-year bounce-back candidates. You can find lightning in a bottle sometimes. So it makes me not so upset that, look, I'm just appreciative that the Rays were throwing money a little bit at something, somewhere, some way. Yeah. And maybe that money could have been used differently, perhaps, to bring back Charlie Morton, for example. But sometimes, hey, Chris Archer, look how bad Robbie Ray was last year. He could have worked out, couldn't he have? And honestly now, Kevin, looking at it from a 2021 on September 15th at 7 a.m, couldn't we just now say, look, it was all Rich Hill, Colin McHugh, Michael Wacha, Chris Archer. Yeah. If only one of those guys pans out,
this is $10 million, $13 million, whatever it was. It pays off. And it did. It did. I mean, I don't care. Charlie Morton's having a great season. Blake Snell, not so much. But the production that you've gotten from Mejia, from Patino, and then giving a spot for Patino, for Rich Hill when he was traded. The Matt Dyer has been killing it in the minor leagues since he was acquired from the Mets in that trade. Colin McHugh has been irreplaceable in the bullpen. I mean, it worked. It worked. The 13 millions for the 4 pitchers, it worked.
And it's working at the right time for Michael Wacha, who has been very solid in his last 3 to 4 starts. We've talked about it before. He has scrapped the cutter, which hitters were batting .376 against the cutter this year. Yeah, let's just take that thing and throw it in the garbage can. Stick with your fastball, which is showing good velocity, the split change, and the occasional curveball, and go from there. Quality start from Michael Wacha today, yes or no?
No, he won't have the innings. I think they'll take him out of 5, but I do believe that he is going to allow less than 3 runs. So it could be 5 innings and 2 runs or less. Yeah.
We might want to take the under then if that's the case for this ball game. Okay, that wraps up this edition of the Locked On Rays podcast. Now tell your smart device to play the most recent episodes of the Locked On Bets and Locked On MLB podcast. Hope you all have a wonderful day. Stay safe, and we'll talk